For the virtual field trip that I created, I'm having my students take a trip to the bakery to learn how to actually bake a cake. The virtual field trip will begin with the students taking out their own personal device to participate in a poll. The poll asks the students, what are some things you would find in a bakery that you would need to make a cake? With this, I would want the students to use their personal device to text in different things like oven, bowl, mixer, salt, vanilla, eggs, different ingredients that are used to bake a cake, different objects that are used to bake a cake, just different things that they would find in the bakery, because I want to start them thinking about it and get their minds engaged. The next slide shows a picture of a bakery shop, and at the top it says, let's head in. I want students to be excited to know that we're about to enter a bakery and learn some fun things. At the bottom of the slide, it says, how do we bake a cake? Here's where I want students to get excited to know that we're actually going to learn how to bake a cake and that baking a cake is actually scientific. In this slide, the students get to see an actual picture of a real-life bakery kitchen. Now, this field trip is geared towards 5th grade students, but if you could use it for a lower level students like 1st grade, 2nd grade, and you could have the students come up to the board where this is displayed, and you could ask them questions like, where do you see the mixer? And they could point to the mixer. Or where would be a good place to roll out dough? Or you could really ask them any questions and they could come and point. But for this reason, the 5th graders, I would just want to show them this so that they would get kind of a feel of where the cake was going to actually be baked in the bakery. This is another fun real-life slide to show the students of a picture of a display case, an actual display case in a bakery. And as you can see, it's filled with many delicious goodies. So I think this would also be another slide that really engages the students and gets them excited about being at the bakery virtually. So this is another good way to show them real life pictures. On this slide, you see an absolutely delicious picture of a chocolate cake with dripping frosting, but the title actually says, "Baking a Cake is Scientific." Let's read more about it. On this slide, we would click on the link below, and the students get to really read an article that is great about how baking a cake is scientific, and it's not too advanced for them. It's put in simpler terms, so they can each kind of read the article at their own pace, learn some facts about how baking a cake has a lot to do with chemistry and how each ingredient really does affect the way the cake turns out. And they can each read it at their own pace and really get to know a lot more about baking and how it's scientific. This next slide is fun too because it shows an actual cut slice of the cake we saw in the previous slide, but it also says it's time to bake the cake. And there's also a link to a video of a younger child teaching students how to bake a cake. And I thought this video was a wonderful video to show the students because the student in the video is around their age, and he does a wonderful job of explaining each different ingredient, and he slowly adds things in, and it's a very simple video to watch, and it shows the process quite well. Now we have kind of reached the end of our virtual field trip, and I've displayed a slide that says, let's review and discuss. Here I want students to kind of all come together and we have a whole group discussion. And I want this discussion to be very interactive, so I would ask different students to come up to the board, take the marker from the smartboard, and write in the yellow box area different questions, comments, or thoughts they had about the field trip that we went on. It could be questions about the bakery, the cake process, a scientific question, anything really. I just want to get all the students involved, so I would definitely have each one kind of come up and write a question, write a word, really anything they're thinking, just to kind of spark some discussion and for me to kind of gauge what they got out of the field trip. Here is a delicious ending to our bakery field trip, and I just kind of wanted to end the presentation with a delicious picture and leave the students feeling happy. So it says, hope you enjoyed your trip to the bakery, and I really hope they got a lot out of the virtual field trip.